Hey guys, how are you keeping? This is Philip Ojeda doing Kato Karate, a video I haven't done in ages. And that's simply because for a long time I didn't know if I was coming or going, and I finally ended up here in Okinawa. Yeah, after a very long journey, I'm finally somewhat settled down here in Okinawa. Now, before anyone rages, oh, you've gone to freaking a different country before during coronavirus and la la la, and hear me out. You have to hear my full story because it's a long one. It's not that much of an amazing story to tell, but it was a really amazing story to get through. So let me start from the start. This time last year, myself and my wife got married, and we were going to live a pretty happy life where she does archaeology and I do tourism. And then coronavirus kicked in. And with coronavirus, my wife ended up losing her job with archaeology, and I ended up losing my job in tourism. So my wife went out looking, and myself went out looking for work. And my wife managed to get work as a translator in a company in Dundalk. So the two of us moved up to the north of Ireland. And there, Yuki was to go to Okinawa in Japan and teach other people how to talk to people on the radio set or whatever. But that's not important. So my wife got a job in Okinawa, which is the important part. Now, the coronavirus we were expecting not to last any longer, and that the coronavirus would clear up and we would just fly over to Japan. But then the coronavirus went on and on and on. And so it got to a point where me and my wife, we didn't know if we were coming to Okinawa or not. So I would spend, and that's one of our goals when we found out we were going to Okinawa, Japan. We got overexcited because this is Karate Island, this is Dream Island, etc., etc. But as the coronavirus went on, we didn't know if we were going to get there or not. So the days went on, and I got into training back into karate and stuff. And I did at the weekends on the Sundays, I would do some karate with Yusuke from Karate Waku, and that was great. I was enjoying that bit. But trying to get up and keep doing training when you didn't know if you were going to Okinawa or not, it was a bit disheartening. Plus, I wasn't getting to a proper gym to do any training. So trying to get up every morning and trying to do a wee bit of training and stuff really dragged on. And I wasn't even the fittest to start with. I was literally starting from level zero or whatever you want in a video game. And I would tell you now, I'm still not that fit. Not going to stop moving forward, but I'm not that fit. It's not going to stop me. I'm still going to try to move forward. I'm still trying to do my best. So back to my story. I was trying to get up every day, trying to make myself push the boulder, as you would say. And yet, only a month ago, me and my wife got the confirmation you're going to Okinawa. Lucky for us, we didn't have to pay for our ticket. We didn't have to pay for everything. So Yuki's company, the company that Yuki was working for, was going to pay for me and my wife to fly over to Okinawa. And you're probably thinking to yourself, if you're one of these people that are like, oh no, you shouldn't have flown over and stuff. Once again, trying to get to Japan was not easy. It wasn't a bit easy whatsoever. First off, we had to do a corona test while we were in Ireland. And then you had literally, once you did that corona test, you had 24 hours to get onto the flight, right? So once you do that corona test, you have to lock yourself back in your house. And then from Cork Airport, we went up to Dublin. And then it's Cork Airport over to Amsterdam. Then from Amsterdam over to Tokyo, where once again, you have to do another corona test, right? So you have to spend all those hours as well. So not only when you're locked up, but all those hours being clean because you could still get rejected. And furthermore, when you get over to Tokyo, although they're fully aware in Cork that you're coming, because you have to fill out questions like, why are you taking this flight? Do you know there's a coronavirus? All this stuff has been bombarded before I even think about going over to the other side, like hand over my luggage and everything. I get interrogated. And I'm not saying the interrogation is bad or anything. I think it's a great thing. So that's what you have to go through. You have to go through that process on one side. You get over to the other side, and once again, you get interrogated even tougher in Tokyo. Tokyo, there wasn't just one person, there was 2 or 3 people that literally turned around and says, why are you here? And then when you even go through those 3 people, while you're going through the process, you have to go through a questionnaire. You also have to do another coronavirus test while you're waiting. We have to spit into this tube. The tube gets tested while you're waiting in the airport. You can't move anywhere. Like, you're stuck in that airport, confined, while they constantly bombard you all this from where will you go? Where will you be? Do you have anyone to stay with? Where will you be staying while you live in Japan? You know, so that Japan is even more harsh than it is over in Ireland. And Ireland was quite strict when I was going through it. Like, Ireland ticked the boxes, as you would say. So it was strict enough. But Tokyo, that's a completely different level. Like, you'll answer the same question multiple times, and then you'll be bombarded with lists of questions, and then you'll have paperwork to fill out as well. So Tokyo is not easy to get through. When you finally get through Tokyo, you have to, for the 14 days that you're locked up, so you're sent off to a hotel. You're locked up in the hotel. For those 14 days, every day you have to put a thermometer here, and you have to like measure your temperature. And then also when you go to get food, because you have to go around and get food, they'll get this phone thing and they'll put it against you, and it'll literally sense what your heat is. So even if you're lying and saying, oh, you know, feeling in wrong, you're going to get caught going down the stairs. So you go down, you get your food, you come back up. You literally spend the whole day bored and getting extremely unfit in the room, which I was doing. So those 7 days went by. And if you think, oh, you can do a bit of workout and stuff, no, that room was so cramped. It was a very cramped room for those 14 days. There was a love hotel across the way from us, and I was like pretending I was staying in that nice little place, because the place I was staying was not nice. It wasn't great. It was literally your standard Bukshi. And I'm not complaining. Like, I'm happy that I got through into the system, especially with all the stuff I was getting through. I knew this was going to be chucked my way, and I wanted to play by the rules and get in. And I did, and I got rewarded for it. I kept to the skills and drills. I did so. And now my wife is in the country, right? So once we did that, we still needed to get a home. So then I went from Mr. Coronavirus Land. No, the hotel in Tokyo, we took another flight. We then, once again, like, it was so weird because it was very loose. Like, once you're in Tokyo and you've gone through the whole system, that's it. You're clean as a whistle. You're not going to be bombarded anymore. So when I was going through Tokyo Airport to Okinawa Airport, it was shockingly chilled out. Now, I still did the skills and drills and everything, but I was shocked at how chilled out it was for me flying from one point to the other point. But I think Okinawa right now, and Japan in general, is more of a chilled out zone right now compared to Ireland, which is bombarding with, keep your distance, do this, do that, etc., because coronavirus was skyrocketing when I was in the country. And I was so lucky. Me and my wife were so lucky we didn't get it, because it was going everywhere. But at the same time, me and my wife were locked up in the house all the time, trying not to get it. So we went from Japan to Okinawa, and when I went through and the doors opened up and I looked at Okinawa, I'm like, oh my God, like, where am I? This place isn't. Now, it was raining at the time, don't get me wrong, but for me, an Irishman who's used to rain, all I saw was glorious weather. These perfect trees. Everything just, it was absolutely gorgeous. I was in heaven. I loved everything. At the same time, there's kind of like this sticky kind of, it's a different temperature kind of taste in my mouth and stuff, and I still have it. Like, I still have a slight buzzy feeling in my mouth, in my tongue and stuff. And I'm trying to get used to things over here and stuff compared to Ireland, where it was really cold and wet. So to go from that to this was quite extreme. But at the end of the day, I was quite satisfied. So what am I doing now? So this last weekend we went from, oh yeah, and then when I got into Okinawa, we went over to the next hotel, and then at the hotel itself, we spent there for about 10 days, still checking our temperature and stuff to make sure we weren't sick. But at the same time, we could explore for a change. And then we were looking for a hole to stay in, and we managed to find this nice little spot. And this place is gorgeous. It's perfect for what me and Yuki need. And that's it. We managed. Yuki's parents came over the weekend, furnitured the place up because there was no furniture when it came in. We've gone for like the traditional Japanese bed and stuff. I'm not going to show you now because it's nice and folded up in the corner, but that's what we're going for right now. Um, that's not it yet. So my next goals, now that I'm actually here in Okinawa, my next goal is to get into a karate dojo and get a karate dojo to accept me. My fitness in me, between all those changes and everything, I haven't been able to go for a run. I haven't been able to do any push-ups or sit-ups and stuff. Yeah, you could have bastardized it, you could have done weird things, but at the same time, I didn't want to make noise. And it's the same case as well. Like, I don't want to be jumping around this stuff because I don't want to be making noise in my neighbors. Compared to in Europe and Ireland and stuff, where you can jump off the walls sometimes and the neighbors won't hear you. Here, they can. So when you get too loud, people can hear you, and I just don't want to be rude to my neighbors, to be honest with you. So I don't want to be. I've done a few push-ups and stuff, but I wouldn't say it's much. I do want to get back into running and stuff, and next Monday, I'm going straight on it, back into getting my fitness. And this weekend as well, me and my wife are going to sit down and look for a karate club to start with. There's other martial arts as well that's in Okinawa, such as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is big over here. Regular judo is big. I want to try out that as well. I was doing Muay Thai for a wee bit as well, so I wouldn't mind out of curiosity see what that's like here. I'm gonna try focusing on karate for a bit, so I might not go too wild on that, but we'll see. But my main goal this weekend is to find a traditional dojo and join it before I start gallivanting everywhere else, and hopefully I get accepted. After everything I've been through, that would be pretty class. So yeah, that's pretty much it. To update you to what's going on, that's pretty much it. So yeah. I will be posting up more stuff of my adventures and stuff and what I'll be getting up to. But other than that, that's it really. So yeah, stay tuned and all the best.